longer do you expect Belichick to be in New England?
Joy, Shannon Sharp. I'm going to go on my gut feeling. I'm going to trust my instincts, and they've been pretty good to me over the years. Something is up with Bill Belichick right here, right now. I do not believe Robert Kraft would have made such a play to keep Josh McDaniels, to talk him out of going to an indie deal that he'd already basically agreed to.
Correct.
Unless Kraft thought something is up with Bill Belichick. I'm just going to go on my gut feeling that it's 51-49 that he will walk away sometime this offseason. 51-49. I'm going to slightly lean that way, even though all the reports say he's going to be back at least next year. But I'm going to go back to what Steve Buckley wrote in today's Boston Herald. He's covered this team for years and years. He knows the heartbeat, the pulse beat of Foxborough and what's going on behind the scenes. And he wrote that it's now just a matter of if Josh McDaniels takes the reins next week or next season. Really? Is that a little sensational, a little over the top? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the clock is ticking on Bill Belichick. I think Robert Kraft is not completely happy with the way Bill Belichick coached the Super Bowl, with what he did or didn't do with Malcolm Butler. Obviously, Kraft has already sided with his son, Tom Brady. I'm sure Belichick does not love that. So the battle lines have been drawn. And my gut feeling is now that they have kept Josh McDaniels, it will further infuriate Bill Belichick, because clearly his succession plan at quarterback, Belichick's, which is Jimmy Garoppolo, was yanked right out from under him by Robert Kraft. And now there's a succession plan in place to replace Bill Belichick. Why? I mean, what indication have we had that he's going to walk away before Tom Brady has to walk away, right?
I agree with everything you just said, Skip. I think Mr. Kraft got the impression, if I don't sweeten this deal for Josh, he signs with the Colts, Bill in May retires, then what?
Now what? You want to talk about being left at the altar?
And he's like, how did he get Coach Belichick? Because Coach Belichick pulled a jack move on the Giants,
He did.
On the Jets.
I agree.
So he knows what he's capable of. And that was before everything was great with him. Everything was great with he and Mr. Kraft. Now there's some, as Mr. Kraft says, egos involved, some tension involved.
He did.
It's hard for me to believe. Bob Lamont, who's the agent for Josh McDaniels,
I know him.
said he might have just made the biggest mistake of his coaching life.
Although Bob Lamont does represent Chris Ballard, who's the GM. Of the
correct.
Go ahead.
But Skip, it's hard for me to believe outside of New England that someone would ever offer Josh McDaniels a head coaching job again.
You could be right.
And so for him to do that, for him to know that he's burned basically 31 other bridges down, the only bridge that he can cross moving forward is to and from New England. Why would you do that unless you've been given some assurances? Now, granted, you can't have it contracted. It can't be written down anywhere. But it's hard for me to believe that you would burn all these bridges down without having some assurances that when Coach Belichick steps away or you pull the rug out from under him. Now, I mean, we have this nice little picture of Mr. Kraft. Chummy, nice with the gray hair, grandfatherly. He's hip. You know, he had the Air Force One. He got RK, got all the Swarovski crystals on the back of Joy. So he hip. You know, he love hanging out P. Diddy. You know, I think P. Diddy be great for the league.
He's got the hair flipping in the back.
If you look at when he has these parties, he have Rick Ross, Snoop Dogg. So, but you don't become this man without being cutthroat, without knowing how, without doing things that's always fatherly or grandfatherly. Perception is not always reality. And so while he seems mild-mannered, he talk, well, Bill has done a great job, and Tommy, obviously, we know. Okay. Don't try it now, because, hey, you tried me before. I put my foot down. Granted, I've been letting you walk, you know, go, hey, you want to trade this guy? Trade him. We want this guy? Get him. I put my foot down. Will he put his foot down again? So, hey, Skip, something don't smell right.
It doesn't smell right.
Something don't smell right.
And obviously, it stinks in Indy what he did to those
Oh,
players.
my
Because he
goodness.
led them on, and then he left them high and dry. And all the candidates they've interviewed, every candidate has now taken another job.
Yes.
So I don't know where they turn.
Yeah. Guilty.
They're
That's at the altar. I mean, if you ain't want to marry, so when did you realize you didn't want to go through with this wedding? Was it the night before, or was it once we got there and we getting ready to take our vows? Because Skip, he getting ready to take these vows. I'm about to be your head coach, Jim Irsay, for the next foreseeable future. And guess what? And then I love how the story they print the story. McDaniel returns to the Patriots. He jilted the coach. Don't be making it seem like he just went back because he had no other offers. He jilted someone.
But Patriot Nation loves the jilting because that was the Deflategate team, the whistleblowers, right?
Skip. We thought it was going to end ugly on another way. But I can honestly say now, I think you can too. This is going to end ugly.
I agree. Yeah, I'm with you.
And it's
okay, yet and still. If I do the vacuum, if I take all the snakiness out of it and all the low blows and the dirty pool played by Josh McDaniels, I still say job versus job. Do you want injured Andrew Luck and what's a bear covered in Indy?
Right.
Having to play Saxonville and Deshaun Watson and a Tennessee that did make the playoffs? What?
And you can play the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bills. Oh my! And the Bills every year.
Yeah.
That's at worst case scenario. What you going 5-1? I mean, worst case you 4-2. That's worse.
They didn't change the divisions around before he agreed to the job, right?
No, but I'm just saying we already know. We already know we get 2 wins. I mean.
I'm just saying he had all this information when he agreed to the job.
He did.
He's snaky.
Yeah. I don't know because Chris Mortensen did report just this past Super Bowl Sunday that Andrew Luck might need another surgical procedure to fix his shoulder. So I don't know if he knew that. Maybe he thought he was on the mend, and all of a sudden he's saying, I'm going to get Jacoby Brissett for another year.
Oh, well, you like Jacoby. You had Jacoby right
as your third stringer, right?
Coach Belichick was, moving these pieces like, I'm going to get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy. Josh, take this job. I walk up out here, then what you going to do? Coach, then Mr. Kraft says, got a little money, got a little extra money from all these Super Bowls. You got a little extra money for all these Super Bowls. Hey, Josh, come on back. I'll give, how much were you going to make? I'll pay you head coach's money. I'll give you $5 million to call the play.
Yeah. And so what I want to know is, did Coach Belichick call Josh and say, I'm so glad you didn't leave us?
No.
I don't think he did because he's coming back to replace me.
Skip, here's the thing, though. Of all the coaches that have left, only Josh McDaniels has been allowed to come back. None of the other coaches that's left there has come back. Garnecchia, he retired.
He did.
But as far as getting another job, Josh McDaniels, and remember, they changed the rules because remember he got released. They got in St. Louis.
St. Louis, he was
and he was on the staff when they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. And so they changed the rules. You can't participate until the following season.
So he wasn't the official coordinator. He was just like assistant to the assistant, right?
Because at that time, Bill O'Brien was there, and he was going to play. Kind of like what Lane Kiffin did. Remember when Lane Kiffin came and shadowed?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't Lane Kiffin. It was the guy that was Sarkisian. Sarkisian came in and shadowed Lane Kiffin.
Oh, he did.
And then he ended up calling plays, and then he went to Atlanta and messed their season up, but then that's neither here nor there. But something brewing, Skip. Something brewing.
Bottom line, gut feeling, Bill Belichick is somehow on the way out. I'm not sure how, when, where, why, but it's going to happen sooner than later.
Salem, I mean, a lot of crazy things happen up in that day.
In Salem?
Now you're going to Salem?
Yeah, I'm just saying.